All right. Hi. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our last webinar of 2025. And even though it's our last webinar for 2025, this is our first webinar to do one like this, to have the entire, we call it our Jam Squad on. And I'm going to let Jennifer introduce everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had an amazing AEP. We're super excited for all the things that we see rolling in. And even though we look like we are working remote, we are still in the same building, just had to spread out a little bit into different rooms to be able to all jump on this today. So as Adrienne mentioned, I'm sure all of you guys are very familiar with Adrienne and probably everybody on this call with you this morning, maybe just not a face with a name. So I call this team my Jam team, and they are fantastic. They are leaders in our room. And so I'm going to kind of tell you what each one of them do so that maybe if you're needing to reach out to them, you'll know the right person to reach out to. So start with Adrienne, who was introducing this morning. As you know, she is over our digital content team. Her and Sarah are the dynamic duo, but we've got Adrienne this morning. And they do everything from your training to Integrity Connect to helping you with any of your social media or any marketing pieces that you want, helping you be compliant and still get out there, push you outside of your comfort zone. So, Adrienne, thank you for what you do for our team every single year.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
And next I've got Melanie Lemke. She is our recruiting manager as she heads up all of the people that are calling you with the best contracts that you need in your briefcase. She heads up that team and has been doing it for a long time. And so when we are calling you to tell you, hey, this is the next best thing that you need in your briefcase, or hey, have you thought about selling this product with this product? That is where she can come in and help you grow your portfolio and grow your book of business. So thank you, Melanie.
Morning.
And then we've got Amy Bostick. I'm sure she has been on some trainings with you guys in the past. She heads up our agent service team, which I call the heart of brokerage. They are a team of three that can help you with any of your quotes, contacting carriers. I'm sure that you guys will be talking to them if you've got some unfortunate applications that aren't showing up 1/1 effective dates. They're going to jump in and help you with any of those problems. So be sure to reach out to them if you have any questions or anything like that. So thank you, Amy.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
And then last but certainly not least, Julie Henson, who heads up our contracting team. So it all starts with them second. First were those recruiters that are sending out the contracts to you, and then Julie's team who has to process the contracts and do anything, help you walk through the contract, whether also you're missing any commissions. They are the people that you're going to go to that can help you with anything that's licensing, contracting, commissions, all of those that we're here to help make your job easier every day and a true partnership to partner with you guys and help you grow your book of business while you have a behind the scenes or wizards behind the curtains that are helping you with your everyday business. So thank you, Julie.
Yes, thank you. I'm super excited to have everyone on here. And I see a ton of familiar faces on this morning. Like we have a lot of agents on. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us this morning. And I see some new names too. So if this is your first one, this is a great first one to be a part of. And how we're going to break down AEP, which is kind of a loaded question or a loaded topic, I know. But we're just going to wrap up some things and we're going to talk about what's next, and you're going to get to hear from everyone from the Jam Squad. But before we do that, I do have some poll questions for everyone to participate in. And I don't know, Jennifer, you want to ask everyone to get their participation pants on and participate in the polls and find the Q&A box while I launch this.
Yes, for sure. We want, as always, we want this to be a conversation between us and you this morning. And so it makes it a little easier for us to, and it's interesting to see the different answers to these questions. And it helps us learn and grow where we need to come in and come alongside of you in different aspects to help you grow. So definitely get your participation pants on, as I tell my team a lot, and jump in and help and answer some of these questions for us throughout this morning.
Yes, the first question, you should see it on your screen, everyone, was how was your AEP? And I know it's going to be a wide range, right? But the first option is crushed it, which I'm kind of scared because no one is saying crushed it right now. Oh, we have one. We just got one. Awesome, awesome. And then next is solid, met my goals. Third was survived barely. And then the last one, let's not talk about it. And then the second question is how are you feeling right now? Because you did survive AEP. It is over. So how are you feeling now? Are you recharged and ready? Are you still catching your breath? Are you still running on caffeine? Or do we need to wait and ask you in January? I see most everyone is still answering.
Hey, real quick, my team, if you're not talking, can you mute? I am hearing some echoing, and so I want to make sure that, see if that helps.
Okay. All right. So I had a feeling this was how it is, but it's good to see how everyone is doing because we do care how you're doing. So it looks like a few of you are feeling like you crushed it. So those of you who are feeling that way, congrats on that. And then it looks like majority, it's kind of tied for solid, met my goal, and then survived barely. And then there's a few of you that don't want to talk about it yet, which I totally understand. So thank you for participating in that poll. Now we know who all we're talking to this morning. And so with that, let's talk AEP. I don't know the order that you guys want to go in, but whoever wants to go first, how was AEP for your department? And like, are there things agents could learn from that you've experienced? And then what should they be doing next? Who wants to go first? Mel, Amy, Julie?
I'll go first. Contracting had a really great AEP, I think. Everything ran smoothly. No horrible problems this year. Super, super busy. Lots of new carriers, contracts, new agents, lots of new agents that we never had with AEP before. Jen, you want to jump in on anything that you remember about contracting?
Well, with contracting comes ready to sell status as well. And so, making sure, as we've seen with some of the some small hiccups that happened along the way, is that maybe you didn't realize that you needed a state prior to AEP, and that pause of having to wait for us to add that state to that carrier, and then that carrier to make sure that you are ready to sell before you can sell in that state. So making sure that all of your license and appointments are also up to date prior to AEP. I think that will help it a little more smoothly. Making sure that you have renewed your license. And so that you're not sitting days before and a company not being able to write because you forgot to renew your license. And I know that sounds crazy, but it does happen. So one of the things that you can do is always review prior to AEP. I know our marketers reach out to you on ready statuses to say, hey, we're not showing that you're ready to sell. Certifications are the biggest thing that you can prepare, making sure that you have the companies that you need prior to AEP, because some take longer than others, and some also shut down their contracting. So you want to make sure that you're also doing that as well. So those are just a few, like Julie said, a lot. We had a smooth really no major crisis this year, which
Yeah.
we're very proud of.
One thing we did have this year, we had somebody checking ready to sell statuses for us this year, so that was very helpful.
Yeah, we did have one person just dedicated, just checking ready to sell status,
Yeah. So
which helped a lot. And I'm sure our agents.
Yeah.
Oh,
One thing I can say about next year, maybe getting ready next year, if there's any new carriers or contracts that you want to get, thinking about getting them at the beginning of the year, so that way when certification open up, you're already ready to go with your contract, and all you have to do is your certs, and we're not trying applications and getting your contract at all at the same time. That'll make it go a little bit smoother. That's just a suggestion, but I see that does help a lot.
yes. No, that's great advice because every carrier is different, right? Like some of them let you do that cert first before the contract's ready, and it can be confusing. All right, who's next? Amy or Melanie? I'm going last because I know how how it went. We all know.
Yeah,
You gotta
I'll go. So I think that volume this year was not the problem. It was readiness. Being prepared. I think everyone knew this disruption was here, but I don't think that they were as prepared as what they really needed to be. There were so many plans and so many carriers that exited this year. There were so many processing delays, pending apps. And what can prevent that mostly is just making sure that you're submitting the app in the most efficient way possible, which is e-app, of course, on Integrity Connect, preferably. But also making sure, you have all of the information there. You have your the banking information if it's needed. Everything is correct on the application, getting those apps processed in a faster manner. Um, and I think the agents that were, prepared, had a checklist ready to go, they were able to, get in contact with who they needed to get in contact with, when they needed to get in contact with them to get something escalated. So that makes it a lot easier whenever you know who and when to contact someone and reach out. Um, and I think that, you want to under promise and over communicate with your client, no matter what. And that's kind of what we learned from this AEP.
I would also add, Amy, is you kind of touched on it, and I know Adrian said she's going to go last because it took a lot, but knowing, staying up with industry news, these carriers, especially during AEP, ones that are suppressing plans, ones that are cutting off you being able to write PDPs by a certain date, making sure we try to communicate all of that stuff with you as soon as we learn. And so if you're not part of our emails, if you're not part of our Facebook group, all of those things, it is something that you want to do because we're trying to get that information out as fast as we can, and you're trying to serve as many clients as you can. So I understand that you might not have, the availability, the time to read every single email, but just making sure that you're staying up with what is happening with all the carriers during AEP, and also using the technology that can help you in order go through the clients that you need to go through. And I'm not going to steal Adrian's thunder. I always move ahead faster. It's what I do. But I would say, Amy, that is, if also to add to that was one of the biggest things. We had some agents not knowing that a certain carrier only gave you to a certain date to write prescription drug plans, and was in a panic because it was too late. So that's one of the biggest things, is staying up with the industry and what's happening to the carriers during AEP, especially over these last couple of years with all the disruption. So,
right. If you're not getting our newsletter, like put it in the Q&A, like let us know so we can get you opted in to get those. Melanie.
Yes. So I think for the recruiters, like obviously we're not heavily marketing during AEP. We want our agents to be out there in front of their clients. And so we really, try to not, reach out too much. But I did see kind of where, the only thing I could say was there would be people wait until the last minute maybe to get appointed with a MAPD carrier and trying to get certified and then seeing it also on Medicare app or IntegrityCONNECT. So being a little bit late on that part. But other than that, we were just so busy, helping agent support answer the phone and, get all the incoming calls. So I felt like it was a very busy, wonderful AEP.
Nicely put. I love that. And that it does like show like during AEP, it's all hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Yes, for sure.
Oh, Jennifer?
To Melanie as well. See, I always have something to say, right? Like she said, I think a lot is also knowing where you can add different products. And she will probably touch on this in a little bit, but if you're writing MAs, are you writing the hospital indemnity plans? Do you have the best hospital indemnity plans in your briefcase? And this is not just about AEP, I mean, Medicare Advantage open enrollment. What about ACA open enrollment that I know we had one deadline yesterday, but we do have until January 15th for another deadline. So, with all the disruption also in the ACA space, are you looking at alternative plans for your clients and things like that? If not, reach out to our marketers and they can educate you on some different plans that you can offer your clients that their premiums are skyrocketing. So just make sure you keep in touch and expand your horizons to be able to add more to your portfolio, to be able to serve more clients and wrap them up with more than just one policy. So.
Yeah. Do you want to say about AEP as a whole, Jen, or?
I mean, the numbers are still flowing in, but it's not always about the numbers. To us, it's about how did we help you achieve your goal. So I feel really good about our team. I feel really good that we are second to none when it comes to agent service. And we want to make sure that we are jumping in and coming alongside of you in any aspect that you need us to. One of the things that I don't think that is as well known is that our after hours cell phone. I mean, we do get some calls there, but I think you as our partners forget that we have that to have that extra level of service for you. So this year, my goal is to push that number out more all year. Not that, just so you're familiar with it, so that you can call us. But as a whole, I think we had a very successful because of our partners out there. That's our carrier partners, our agent partners, our agency partners. It takes all of us to be able to serve as many clients out there. And that's what it's all about, making sure that we wrap them up with coverage and that they are prepared for the good days ahead. And so with that, I feel that we had a very successful AEP. So thank you. Thank you to all of our partners that are on this call that were able to make that happen and serve as many clients as they could.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Well, I guess I'll talk technology now. I'm not gonna, there's a whole nother slide on IntegrityCONNECT, but as far as AEP goes, I know like when things started, it was a little rough and it was rough for everybody. I mean, there was cloud outages, that Amazon outages. I mean, there was all kinds of technology issues happening across the US. And, IntegrityCONNECT experienced it, the carrier portals experienced it, Medicare.gov experienced, I mean, which is kind of normal for, October 15th for things to go a little astray for technology, but I think all in all, Integrity Connect helped so many agents this AEP. I mean, it has grown so much. I know last year was the first year we really started pushing the technology. And then this year it had some major upgrades and was able to come in and help a lot of agents, especially with the call recording and the brand new voice signature. I mean, I got so many compliments from agents this year on the voice signature and just not having to tell clients, hey, copy and paste this code. And just to be able to do that voice signature helped a lot of agents. And I know it's just going to keep getting better. And because all of you have used this technology, this AEP, we are now learning, a lot more about what agents, need most from the technology. So thank you for using it and sharing all of your experiences so we can make it even better for you. And then now we're gonna all talk about what's next. OEP. I think I'm gonna let Amy take the first bullet on the guide and all the specifics.
Yeah, so OEP is just right around the corner, guys. And I'm sure that it's going to be just as busy as AEP, with a lot of, clients that maybe lost coverage or maybe, I mean, we're running a SEP right now for those plans that ended. So, I mean, we're still going right now because so many plans did end. And so OEP will just kind of carry over into that where, for the individuals that have a Medicare Advantage in place right now, they can make that one-time change. And I think that's where a lot of agents maybe have it maybe off there. You do have to have either an MA or an MAPD in place to be able to make a one-time change. And that's going to run, of course, from January 1st to March 31st is you're going to run your OEP. There's no changes to the drug plans during that time. I've had agents calling in saying that they're clients in a MA only plan right now, and can they change them to the MAPD during OEP? And yes, you can, for those individuals that maybe got enrolled accidentally or whatever the case may be, you can make those changes, very soon.
Yeah, I'll let Jen take retention.
For sure. I think it's one of the biggest things that you can do, especially after AEP. I know we had some agents that experienced saying, hey, I wrote these apps and now they're not showing either in my portal as me being the agent of record or, something happened. So starting there, going through all of your clients that you wrote this AEP, we really won't get into the marketing part because I always speak ahead, like I said, but retention, doing the things that you can, since you can't really market OEP, you can do that through retention and do it at the same time. So you're calling those clients and saying, hey, did you receive your cards? Hey, have you looked at your, over-the-counter benefits? Hey, have you checked all to make sure that none of your doctors or networks have changed or pulled out during from the time November, December, October to January 1st. There's still some carriers that are in negotiations, and so that would open an opportunity for you to be able to rewrite them, but you're not going to find that out whether if you're not, number one, paying attention to what's happening in the industry, and number two, not calling your clients and going through all that. It just gives you the opportunity, the more you speak to them. And then, as Melanie tells you here in just a minute about cross-selling, how that can also add to your retention as you are calling each one of those, making sure they've set their wellness appointments. There are just so many opportunities for you to call and not only get referrals, but to be able to retain those clients for the year and make sure no other agent has come in and swooped in and changed them to a different plan that they don't need to be on. So.
Yeah. And then, like Jim said, for marketing, you can't market for OEP. You cannot go out on Facebook and be like, hey, you can make a change. You cannot do that. So you have to be creative. You can still market, you just have to be specific in the election period that you're marketing. So you can be marketing turning 65s. You can be marketing that SAR, SEP. So you can market saying, hey, did your plan end its contract with Medicare? You know, you can market that. You can market chronic plans. You just got to get creative in your marketing. Just we're putting it out there. We're letting you know you cannot market for OEP. And then I'll let Mel take cross-selling, and then Julie can share a little bit on some ETAs on if they're not contracted yet.
Yeah, for sure. Cross-selling is client retention, because if you're not offering these products to your clients, then someone else will. And you always want to make sure your client is covered and, you know, has the most coverage they can possibly have. I think that when our clients are getting calls during AEP or getting, you know, commercials and getting all these overwhelming information that's coming at them, and so maybe they do get switched to another plan. I think that if you're doing your job as an agent in cross-selling, you're going to more than likely get that client back, you know, because you still have them for hospital indemnity or final expense, you know, and you have them covered. So again, that's just a no-brainer to me, to make sure that you're retaining your clients in your book of business and doing them a service and making sure that they're offered all the products and they know about them so that they can make those decisions.
Yeah. And Julie, so like if they're not contracted yet, like how long is it going to take them to be able to start selling these?
The contracting process does take about 2 weeks to get contracted with most of the carriers. Unfortunately, some of the carriers have closed contracting right now and they're not reopening until February 1st. So that could not help either. But it usually takes about 7 to 10 business days to get contracted with these carriers.
Okay. So don't wait, y'all.
Yeah,
So
don't
I want
wait.
to tell a quick story. I had one of our agent partners tell me a story that she lost a client because she didn't offer them a hospital indemnity plan and maybe a cancer plan or something like that. And when she called the client was like, well, this agent offered me the wraparound plan. And she's like, well, I've never heard of the wraparound plan. What are you talking about? And it was that she wrapped her up with all of these other things besides just a Medicare Advantage plan. She had added a hospital indemnity plan, and she had added, you know, a cancer plan, and all of these things. That how that agent sold it was that bundling or also wraparound plan, because you're adding all of those other things that are going to be beneficial to them. So, you know, maybe use that in your terminology to help
Yeah.
you when you're cross-selling, is to let me wrap you up with coverage. Let me make sure that you've got everything that you need, and explaining why they need those and the benefits of those things.
Yeah. And it makes it to where it seems like you truly do care about all of their out-of-pocket expenses that could happen. And, you know, I told you about marketing, and if you're needing help, like spreading the word that you offer these, like we can make you custom postcards, emails, anything to help you get the word out to your existing clients first, right? They're your priority, and then any new potential clients. We are here for every step of it. And then I do see some questions here. I didn't know, I'm going to kind of open it up for questions at the end, but Patricia had asked about talking about rapid disenrollment. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that right now as we transition. Anyone, Amy or Jen or?
Amy, you want to take that rapid disenrollment?
It happens. What
It
is it,
does
Amy?
happen. It happens a lot, and sometimes agents don't realize that it is happening. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your book of business is the the most important part is making sure that you're making sure that those clients didn't rapid disenroll before those effective dates.
Well, and I think that that has a lot to do with the retention too, though. Making sure that, your clients are being, you're retaining your clients because that's usually someone coming behind you rewriting them, which can, cause a whole other mess. But yeah, so the rapid disenrollment is just where they either get out of that plan, they're rewrote on a different plan with another agent or whatever the case may be, another carrier. Um, that's basically what that is.
Yeah. So the best way to do that is to check the carrier portals, most likely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you want to check to make sure that they're still showing as an active client under you. Absolutely.
Okay.
And that can happen up to 3 months. So if
Yeah.
they have that rapid disenrollment period is typically a 3-month period. So,
Mhm.
if they have effective date of, January 1, they can disenroll up to 3 months after that. So it's a constant having to go back and check and communicate with your clients.
Yeah. And I'm just going to put the plug in for Integrity Connect because now is a really great time to get on board with it. It is, I know I talked to a lot of agents this AEP that, they did make that leap. They did make that transition into Integrity Connect this AEP and got familiar with it. And now they're able to use, all of the client retention features that are built into it. But if you haven't made that switch yet to Integrity Connect, this is a really great time to start learning it, using it, and then begin to grow with it because this technology is truly built to help agents save time and sell more. And we can do, webinars. I've learned like a lot of agents learn better on one-on-one Zooms because everyone's kind of different with the stage they're at. And so if you want to do any one-on-ones, you need help making that transition to this technology, I'm more than happy to help you because it's just going to get better and better. And the longer you wait, it will be more work for you. I just am going to be completely transparent. So it is a process, right? You have to move your clients into this technology. So the longer you wait, the more work you might have. And we're here to help you every step of the way. We can help you get, those spreadsheets and import them, get them formatted for you, and make sure you have it all organized and ready for 2026.
And connecting, that what we were just talking about, rapid disenrollments, a lot of
Mhm.
times, like I said, that happens because a doctor or a specialist you
Yes.
didn't know to ask is one of your clients' very important doctors that they need in network. So one of the technology, which is my favorite part, which is the Ask Integrity, will
Mhm.
come back and help you if you're putting in three or more of those drugs
Yeah.
on there, and one of those drugs is prescribed by a specialist. It's literally going to ask you the question, triggering question, and saying, hey, we recognize that one of these drugs is typically prescribed by a specialist. Have you asked your client or verified that that client, do they see a specialist? And is that specialist in network? So there's
Mhm.
so much to this technology that goes hand in hand with what you do every day to help you with the retention and growing your business. So I ditto what Adrian says. Make sure if you're not using Integrity Connect and if you're not using the technology, that has an amazing AI feature in it to help you. It is something that you want to start now so that you are confident by AEP this year. And we're here to help you with that. So,
And I would like to say that we have actually helped a few agents import their clients into that portal, and it's really easy, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
I was super surprised at how easy I was. I didn't even have to call Adrienne in there to ask her. Like, it was that easy. So we were able to help the agents, import those. And I just wanted to point out how easy that process really was.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And the technology does so much. Like and it does the scopes of appointments. It does the call recording. It does the quoting. It does all of the enrolling. It does, saving of the prescriptions. It does all of that. And you have access to that at no cost with us. So don't wait. And then I'm going to let, I think Melanie and Jen, all of us.
So making sure that you have a great product mix for 2026. Obviously, we kind of went over this already, but making sure that you have those hospital indemnity plans to pair with your Medicare Advantage, ACA. I know a lot of agents that are into selling ACA for the first time this year, which was super exciting. Cancer plans, with your Medigap plans. I mean, believe it or not, there's a place for those with Medicare supplements. Short-term care right now, that's kind of what we've been doing, is marketing some short-term care products that are really great products for your clients that don't want to do the ACA plan. And of course, your dental for Medigap, and then your life insurance. So just making sure that you guys have a well-rounded portfolio going into 2026, and offering your clients all of these products and being able to pivot and, have it ready to pull out and write it with you already have your writing number, you're ready to sell and prepared. So
I would be interested, if people would put in the chat, like, did you write more Medicare supplements this AEP? I heard quite a few of you have told me, that they were writing a lot more Medicare supplements than they have in the years past. Not that they weren't still writing a lot of Medicare Advantage, but some of those clients were moving back to that original Medicare and a Medicare supplement. So did you see that happening with your book of business this year? Also, don't forget that we have regional carriers. I think that one of the things that we don't promote as much is that we are part of an amazing organization, which is Integrity, we have so many partners across the country, which represent so many different regions across the country. And so we're usually able to grab any of those regional carriers that you need, not all of them, but a majority of them we are able to grab. So that is something also, if you're seeing those pull up on the quote engine and you feel that those are the best fit for your client, make sure that you're reaching out to us and seeing if we can grab those regional carriers. And we might already have them, you just don't know it. So
Yeah. Yeah, agents, if you'll find the Q&A box, I think it is on your end. It should say Q&A. Let us know if you did write more meds up this AEP. I will say, having the phone the last day of AEP, I learned a lot of consumers think that AEP has to do with their Medicare supplement. Like I feel like I got that a lot, and which was surprising to me, but because I guess I'm in it every day, obviously, so I can understand maybe why consumers would be confused. And that's, I say, room for opportunity for agents to be more educational too on what they offer and how they get into it. I know there's a lag sometimes on the Q&A, so we'll give them a second. Katrina raised her hand. I think she did more Medicare supplement. I think that's what that means.
Katrina, you're writing ACA. You're one of those that are writing ACA this year, kind of for the first time. So congratulations on that. And I know we spoke yesterday, and you said you had a lot of late people making decisions. And that's what's been, I've heard a lot in the market this year, is that those clients are waiting, thinking that there's going to be some congressional changes and on those subsidies, but those clients don't need to wait, because they're going to be with no coverage. So
Yeah. Oh, Roberta said she did more med sub. Rebecca said more MAPD. I guess it kind of depends on the area too. Moon, I got more requests for groups and wrote a few more med subs than usual. Also ACA alternatives for the first time.
awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest questions we're getting right now is something, you know, an ACA alternative right now. That's kind of what we're getting a lot of questions in regard to right now.
And
Yeah, and
Melanie can
there's
speak to that. I mean, we do have some great carriers that have ACA alternatives for you. So definitely, as Melanie takes this screen to introduce her team, definitely want to reach out to us, and we can help guide you on what carriers you need in your briefcase for that.
For sure. And so, with that being said, here is our team for health marketers. We have, says Jolene Roberts. She does go by Josie, and then Lindley, and then Lisa Gray. And we would love for you guys to schedule a meeting with us. You don't have to, but if you have time in your day, whether it takes 5 minutes or 30 minutes, we would love to go through and make sure that you have a well-rounded portfolio and going into 2026. So you can call up anytime or schedule a meeting, whatever works best for you.
yes, even if you want to get ahead and meet with them in January. I mean, it's January's going to be busy. I'd get on their calendars now. And you can go to this link, which is bit.ly/meetwithEIS, and that'll bring up a calendar. You can just get on the calendar now, and it's just a phone call. You can pick the time. We want to make it convenient as possible for all of you. For sure. And then I'm going to open it up for questions and kind of go back to some questions. So if any of you have questions for this, what we call Jam Squad, please put them in the Q&A so we can get them answered. I'm really excited. I'm one of those ones that did the recharged and ready option on the survey. Lynette was on here. She said she didn't do AEP this year, so maybe this is inspiring you to participate next year. Tommy's not getting the newsletters. Okay, so we need to make sure. I'll follow up with you, Tommy, to make sure you're getting those newsletters. Lots of important information. And when I say lots, I mean that thing is full every month. But you have to be aware. Lillian said, our support is awesome. However, the lead strategy was a disaster. So that can happen. I'm sure you're not alone in that. But we can definitely talk about other things to try. I know, what is it? Seminars are really, really popular right now for leads.
Yeah, and some of, hopefully some of the positive changes won't go into that at all, but the CMS proposed rules might have some positive impact on educational seminars for you guys if some of those changes go through. So I'm sure you can read about what's happening. You can Google it, but there are some positive changes, hopefully, that will get passed for people who do seminars this year.
Bruce had asked if the carriers get the scopes of appointment. So if you're using IntegrityCONNECT, we do not send those to the carrier. We just save them on file for you for the required time frame from CMS. So if you do have a carrier asking for the scope of appointment, you can just pull it from IntegrityCONNECT and send it to them. Rudy said this was his first year as an agent. And he had 2 to 3 uplines that he was working with and was very he was very confusing. He said EIS was hands down the best upline to work with. I am consolidating all of my contracts under their flag. Great team supporting all of my efforts. Thank you.
Welcome to the family, Rudy.
Yes, welcome. We're excited. All right. Oh, sorry, Elisa. You can go to bit.ly/meet with the EIS. And after this webinar, we always send a follow-up email. We'll put the OEP guide in there. We'll put the link to schedule a meeting in there. We put all the resources we talk about in one email for you. Rudy had asked how soon before a unified platform that's inclusive to all products besides MAPD. So it might take a little bit of time for that, Rudy. I know IntegrityCONNECT, does do life insurance still right now. So you can do all of your life and your Medicare Advantage on there. I know Medicare supplements will be the next thing that is coming. It's just going to take some time to get them all on there. Moon, I appreciate all the Eldercare team has done for our team. Thank you for making it a successful AEP for us. Katrina, you're the best. Thank you, ladies. And then Katrina had asked, what are some top carriers for long-term care or short-term care?
Okay, I'm sorry, what was that again? For long-term care?
Top carriers for long-term care or short-term care?
For long-term care, I would have to say Mutual of Omaha. And then short-term, United Health One, and also Manhattan Life has a really great plan with Affordable Choice Plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we can definitely reach out after this and get you some more information, brochures, and answer some questions too.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. Moon's all about it. She wants some more long-term care training. All right. I don't see any further questions coming through. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to close out this year with us. And we look forward to 2026. And this is all of our contact information. The QR code on the screen is to our private Facebook group. So this is something you do have to have at least one contract with us to get in here. We need to verify, that you're an agent and with us. But you can scan that code and join our group, and feel free to ask questions to your fellow agents or to our staff or share anything in there. It's a really great community to be a part of. Any closing words from anyone else?
Thank you for your partnership always. We know you have a choice out there, and we certainly appreciate you being part of the Eldercare family. So reach out to us if you need anything, and we are looking forward to going into 2026 with a bang. So.
Yeah, thank everyone for joining us. And if my department can support you guys in any way, don't hesitate to reach out, because that's what we're here for.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, I want to say thank you guys for joining us. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope everyone enjoys some family time and stay safe. And I'm looking forward to January to get rolling again. So.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.